Welcome to the Bot Squad podcast, everybody. I'm your host, GinaMan94, here with a very special guest. You guys know him. You guys have seen him in videos with me before. My boy, Oven Fresh Death, aka Cody.
What's cooking,
up,
guys?
Yep.
How you doing?
Yeah, man.
Glad to be here.
We got some stuff to talk about today, guys. Oh my goodness. The news that has been flooding the WWE Twitter space, Facebook space, just everything. It's just going crazy. Everything is happening so fast and things are changing. So, yeah, you ready to get right into this, man?
I'm ready when you are, man.
The biggest thing right now, other than the draft, that we have to talk about, because it just escalated this very day, is Brock Lesnar has been flagged for potential doping violation.
Oh,
Oh man. He just came off his win at UFC 200 against Mark Hunt. A very impressive victory, might I add. And he's just been found by the USADA, the USDA, that he has a potential anti-doping policy violation. So, I don't know what they're going to do here.
my concerns with this are, okay, if the UFC is concerned, the WWE is going to have to be concerned too. I have this feeling there are going to be fingers pointed everywhere. It's like, oh, well, did you guys drug test him? And I'm pretty sure that the guy he was fighting against probably, I don't know, he might have went back and complained or something.
Yeah, for sure, because, like, they said they received the test results June 28th. And I guess they found out about it on July 14th, which was yesterday. So they just made it known today that after they received everything and evaluated it after his fight, they figured out that he potentially has a anti-doping violation. So, man, this could change everything, dude. Like, his SummerSlam match with Randy Orton could be altered. Like, does this back Vince McMahon into a corner? His star, his moneymaker, his pay-per-view seller, like, is he gonna have to suspend him, man?
I feel like if they can let Roman Reigns fight, what's stopping Vince from letting Brock Lesnar fight?
This is true, but the thing is, they knew about Roman Reigns' thing right before the pay-per-view that he fought at, Money in the Bank. And then, they had him drop the title and had him start up the next thing they were going to do, setting up the Shield triple threat at Battleground. But it's kind of different. Like, this isn't like right before SummerSlam, so you can't really set up anything with Brock. It's kind of like, what are WWE going to do? Are they going to just let this slide under the rug, or are they just going to throw the hammer down on Brock too? It's kind of like a 50-50 chance here what they're going to do.
I feel like if they're going to come down on anybody, it should definitely be Brock Lesnar, because this, in my opinion, is Brock Lesnar's fault. Brock Lesnar is a guy who basically prides himself on being quote-unquote jacked.
Yep.
And that could possibly destroy his reputation, knowing he does something like that.
I could swear, going off your point, before his fight, like a couple days before his fight at UFC 200, I swear he was bragging because people were actually accusing him of taking steroids and stuff. And he was just like, people are just mad because I'm a jacked white boy, so get over it. Like, all that arrogance and all that confidence that you aren't taking anything, and now this happens, like you said, that's probably going to destroy his reputation.
So, as far as the UFC is concerned, because this was a fight on their pay-per-view, and money was made and money was spent for this kind of thing. So is Brock going to take a pay cut, or is he going to come out of his pockets for this?
Right, because Mark Hunt is demanding half of what Brock made, or he's asking to be released from the UFC. Because he's pissed.
I would be pissed.
Yeah, I completely sympathize with the man. He took an ass beating to Brock. Like, Brock was just manhandling him in the first and third rounds. The second round, Brock kind of got a little winded, but that first and third round, that was Brock's fight.
You know what? Give the man his bread. Let the man get his compensation, even if you have to revoke Brock Lesnar's win, which I'm sure that they would do.
Right. man, and I can, like I said, I can completely understand where Mark Hunt is coming from. I think I think this is him telling MMA Fighting this statement he made. He said the cheaters get a slap on the wrist and walk off. What penalty or deterrent is there to make them think twice? Nothing. And the Nevada Athletic Commission, why should these expletive, I guess he cussed at them, get anything? They are not the ones who had to fight with Lesnar or lose to him. I lost. So he's very pissed.
Now, there are other guys. Now, Brock Lesnar, this isn't Brock Lesnar's first rodeo with the UFC. Because we know about this controversy, should we go back and start questioning his other matches as well?
I definitely think so. Because it's like this. Like, he just sporadically went back to the UFC just to prove that the disease was the only thing holding him back. But yet, you have to take performance-enhancing drugs in order to win? Like, to give yourself that boost? If you were so focused on this disease that held you back, that made you almost die, that retired you from UFC for such a long period of time, and then you come back and say, I have something to prove to myself, and I'm going to do it the right way, and now you're about to be flagged for performance-enhancing drugs? Like, come on, man. What type of sense does that make?
It's not just the UFC Brock's going to have to worry about either, because this is definitely a position that Vince has been put in as well, and if he gets let go from both of these promotions, it's going to be all bad for Brock.
It would definitely... that would be like a major statement. They just let him go from both, because, then what are you going to do? Your reputation's going to be ruined. Your two top promotions that you want to be in are not going to have you anymore. What are you going to do now? You can't go anywhere else.
How is Sable gonna eat, man?
Right. How is Sable gonna eat? And then it's like, I feel bad for Randy Orton as well. Because, okay, we all know wrestling's scripted. But would you really, knowing this information, if you're Randy Orton, would you really want to step in the ring with Brock Lesnar at this point? Even if they don't suspend him?
That depends. Now, if he was predetermined to win or if he was predetermined to lose. If he was predetermined to lose, I'd be like, oh, thank God for this.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's like, from a safety aspect, because Brock has not always been known to be the safest in the ring. Now, he has in the past, but sometimes he's not been known to be the safest guy in the ring. And if he's jacked on steroids right now, like, and Randy Orton has a history of getting injured, so I don't know if that would just be the best thing for Randy to step into.
Looking back on it now that you mentioned, I was reminded of Brock's match with Dean Ambrose. Now, Dean Ambrose is a brave soul for getting in the ring with Brock Lesnar, and I remember specifically towards the end of the match, he was supposed to get, what I believe, he was supposed to get suplexed into the chairs, and Brock suplexed him over the chairs.
Yeah. See, and who knows what he would do to Randy Orton. And, Randy ain't no small guy, but he's been plagued with injuries for, like, the past, 5 to 6 years, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since he, what was that injury he had? I think he, like, tried to RKO somebody and, like, fell out the ring or something, or he got thrown out the ring. And, he messed up something in his shoulder. His shoulder hasn't been the same ever since.
Oh, yeah, it just takes one suplex onto that bad shoulder.
Yeah, the wrong way. And, I'm not going to say that's all on Brock, because it's not. It's not all on him.
True.
To take a suplex, it would be on both of them. But if he's just sporadic in the ring, jacked up on steroids, high adrenaline, more than the normal amount for a wrestling match is, does that spell danger for Randy Orton?
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's good for him.
They're gonna have to start calling this man Rybrock or something, man.
He's just gonna start telling the superstars to bump better. We're gonna have ourselves a CM Punk situation here.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, that remains to be seen. But talking about suspensions and everything, we're gonna move on here. Roman Reigns. We all know he's been suspended by the WWE for 30 days for violating the wellness policy. We know this. This has been going on, and he's almost back from suspension. Now, we're not going to pretty much talk. I mean, we are going to talk a little bit about Battleground coming up because it pertains to Roman Reigns. But what do you see happening when he comes back at Battleground? Because that'll be his first TV appearance back, because they're moving SmackDown to Tuesday nights, and he'll be back that Thursday, which means he's going to miss the draft. So I don't know what they're going to do here.
As far as I feel, he's probably going to get booed, probably even worse than Royal Rumble 2000. Was it 2014, 2015?
Both, actually.
Oh Lord! And then if the writers write him in to win, that's going to be the hugest and at this point dumbest investment / risk at this point.
The only way it could work out like that, there's only one thing, and we know they're not going to do it, but it would be to turn Roman Reigns heel.
This could work for his character.
It could. It could work for his character. It would give him great heat heel. It would definitely give him some heat with the crowd. He already has heat with the crowd, and he's a face. So if they happen to turn him heel and he wins this triple threat match after being suspended for 30 days, not being around, not being able to promote it, then yeah, the crowd is going to let him have it.
What puzzles me about Roman Reigns is with most of the other superstars, they'll pay attention to how the crowd reacts to him, but Vince was hell-bent on making Roman Reigns the face. But if you're hard of hearing or something, like, the crowd boos this man.
Yeah, for sure, they definitely do, and it's like they're altering the crowd so that the boos aren't as loud as, there are in real life. Because I've had friends go to WWE events and tell me that the crowd was louder than it was on TV.
Oh, wow.
So they're definitely trying to protect him. But I think it's just too late.
What comes to mind when I think about the crowd reaction is when the Vaudevillains made their way to the main roster, the crowd was indifferent about them. Like, when they first came out, they weren't really booed, they weren't really cheered, but the minute they became heels, they were booed because they were heels. Roman plus boos should mathematically equal heel.
You would think. But
exactly.
It's WWE, it's Vince McMahon. When Vince gets that twinkle in his eye, when his golden boy has been unveiled, then, there's no stopping him. He's going to push whoever that is. We saw it with John Cena, and I'm a fan of Cena. But even I know that Vince shoved him down everybody's throats, and that's why a lot of people don't like John Cena right now.
Right.
But it's like, I want Roman Reigns to be great. Because at least with John Cena, he has a way of manipulating the crowd. No matter how much heat he has with them, he can still manipulate them. He'll still get a cheer from them. Roman Reigns can't do that.
True.
I'm not saying Roman's bad on the mic, but I'm just saying Cena's way better. There's a difference between them.
Out of the three men in this main event triple threat match for the WWE title, we have Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. As far as mic skills go, Roman Reigns is on the bottom end of the food chain. And as far as like heels and faces, Dean Ambrose is, I would even argue to say, babyface without even trying at this moment. Yeah. And then you have forever heel Seth Rollins. And then with this background that, in my opinion, should not have been brought into the limelight, as you can see Seth Rollins actually using it to build his character, it kind of, to me, seems like Roman has all the potential in the world at this point to come back as heel with this Seth Rollins whatnot. And even if Dean Ambrose retains the title, it does also, in my opinion, set up for a feud between Rollins and Reigns, so that way Ambrose can go and mess with somebody else, cough, AJ Styles.
Hey, I mean, I agree with you there. That'd be a nice little rivalry to see between those two. And it's just...
Yes.
It's like, it's going to be... I think for the next 3 to 4 years, it's like we were talking about it earlier. It's going to be like a never-ending rivalry between all three members of the Shield.
Right.
So, it's like, if they're not all three, going after each other, then there's going to be two going at one. It's going to be, another two going at the other one. They're always going to be intertwined, kind of like how Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are.
Now, since we're still on the subject of the Shield, as far as the Shield goes, these are the guys that are in the limelight, in the main event spotlight, and then you have some of the mid card guys: Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, John Cena, AJ Styles. I feel like there's too many cooks. I feel like there's too many cooks in this kitchen.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you. It's just it gets to a point where it's just like, are these going to be the only 3 guys that are going to be built up? Or,
right.
Are you going to do something different? I mean, like, okay, Dean did the thing with Brock Lesnar. But what did Dean Ambrose gain out of that? Really?
The WWE title.
I mean, not from that rivalry with Brock, though. If you go back to WrestleMania 32, I guess that was the most recent one, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That match,
I see what you're saying.
That match with Brock was terrible.
Yes, it was.
It was horrible. It was a hardcore match or something? What was so hardcore about it?
It was supposed to be.
That match was not even close. It was supposed to be, like you said, but that's not what it was. Like,
I misspoke about the WWE title earlier, by the way.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's fine. But it's just like, that rivalry could have just killed Dean's whatever. Like, who would have thought he would have been WWE champion in the next few months after that match? I know I sure as hell didn't. Thank God that he is now. I'm glad he's getting a chance to be champion, and I think he should come out as champion.
How he got there is kind of weird for me, because Dean Ambrose, out of all 3 members, Dean Ambrose has probably had the most non-linear career thus far. Like, he's jumped around into different feuds, and now all of a sudden he's Mr. Money in the Bank. I just got the title from Seth Rollins. Woo woo woo, Zack Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. I mean, I think wait. So him being in the Shield, does that count as him being tag team champion?
Who?
It was,
see, this
it was Reigns and Rollins.
That's the same question I've had with the New Day. Like, who out of you 3 guys, which two of you are the tag team champions again? So, I get confused.
I guess with the New Day, they're doing the Freebird rule. I'm guessing any one of the 3 can defend the titles on any given night. But it wasn't clear with the Shield. It wasn't clear at all. See, like the New Day at the Hall of Fame ceremony this year, they inducted the Freebird. So they were just saying, they inspired them to have the Freebird rule in effect, with their tag team championships. But with the Shield, it was just like, I think it was just Reigns and Rollins. Because I was going to say that Dean is a Triple Crown champion, but if he's not considered a tag team champion, then I don't think so.
Yeah.
I guess he's held every singles title he could. He was Intercontinental champion. He was U.S. champion in the Shield, and now he's,
the WWE champion. As far as the tag team titles go, I feel like there should be like a clause or something something about stables in there.
Yeah, it definitely should. Like, they should make that very clear, like how they made it with the New Day. Like, with the New Day, you kind of know, because they kind of said it. But, like, with other stables that have been tag champs, like, you don't really... It's not really clear if, like, the other person can step in and defend the titles for the team, or what.
Right. That's like, say, if the Wyatts had the tag team champions, it's like, oh, well, one night when we defend, we'll have Braun Strowman and Luke Harper go in there, but on another night, we'll have Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan defend it.
Right, yeah, so you never know if that's the case, or it's just, these certain members have to be defending it. And I'm glad you bring up the Wyatts, because that's another transition.
Oh. That's my favorite part right here, guys.
Bray Wyatt has gotten into a little squabble with one broken Matt Hardy. At it a little bit on Twitter, subliminally taking shots at each other and then eventually mentioning each other. And I just think it's fucking hilarious, because you get the final deletion from TNA, which I haven't watched TNA since AJ Styles was probably TNA World Champion, maybe a little bit after that. when he was still relevant in TNA, but after that, I stopped. But the final deletion, man, that's greatness right there.
I'll be honest with the fans out there. I only look into TNA's YouTube channel now for 2 reasons. That's to see how Bobby Lashley is doing and to see if EC3 left yet.
Right. Yeah, that for sure. But it's just like, so we get the final deletion, what? Maybe a week or so ago? Maybe 2 weeks ago? I'm not really sure on the date of the final deletion. But then we get this Monday on Raw. The New Day visit the Wyatt's compound. And it's clearly the final deletion. In a way. Not completely, but you know what Vince was doing here.
Right. There are very distinct... there are very distinct features. I've watched some of the final deletion. I watched the first part, and then I did catch the end of it to see the outcome. And I watched the entire Wyatt compound visit. They're both old-timey, really poor camera views. They're both shot at certain angles to make it look more cinematic.
Yeah, and the WWE just over fucking produced it, and it just had to do all them damn jump cuts. And it was just like I was having a seizure watching it.
Here's my problem with the Wyatt compound skit, I'll call it, altogether. You saw the kind of action and the kind of wrestling, I guess we'll call it, that they did in this video skit, sorry. Why can't we get that stuff that they did in the ring?
I'm completely 100% agree with you there. Why can't we get that? It takes for them to do a cinematic skit for us to get this greatness from the Wyatts. I don't know.
The New Day, as far as the skit is concerned, I will say the New Day was in rare form as well. There were no jokes.
Yeah,
it was different.
That was the thing though. It was like the Raw before this happened. Xavier was like, "Look, if we're going there, we have to be serious. We can't be going there making jokes and insulting their outfit or whatever. If we're going there, we got to go to fight." And he made that clear to Big E and Kofi, and that's exactly what they did there. And it's I think what it is,
even though they... Oh, I was going to say, even though it didn't turn out very well for the New Day, they did go to fight.
Yeah, they went to the Wyatt's territory. They were getting their ass kicked for most of it, but they definitely fought back. And what I like that...
They held their own.
They held their own. What I like that they did, though, is it was one point where Xavier was in the woods, it's funny, because, Xavier...
That's ironic.
Lost in the woods. That's Alright, anyway, he was hiding behind a tree, trying to hide from the Wyatts, and Bray just had this random axe that he just swung at the tree, and he found Xavier without giving any indication that he was there. And then they were all just going after each other. Braun Strowman, that big brolic motherfucker, ran and hit a windshield of a car with his shirt off.
I don't know how much they paid you to do that, Braun, but that did kind of look like it hurt
that
like hell.
That hurt me. Come on, man. Ow, why? That just made him look more of a badass, if anything.
Right. I will say this about Bray Wyatt, and maybe even the family as a whole. This is even before the skit. They put a lot of superstars these days in movies. They even put Dolph Ziggler in a movie. Where is Bray Wyatt's movie?
I believe he would be great in a movie. Him and Strowman.
Yes.
Put Strowman in there as a big bad motherfucker that you gotta take down. Cause
he doesn't have to say anything.
He doesn't. He just needs to stand there with a tight shirt on, just staring at you. That's
exactly
enough to intimidate anybody.
I feel it.
But yeah, back to the Matt Hardy thing. So Matt Hardy pretty much noticed the Wyatt compound thing, and he spoke about it on Twitter. He tweeted this, and I'll put the tweets on the screen as you guys are watching this. He said, "I see that the hashtag Great War has become interpromotional, ... I now have a myriad of hashtag Brother Neros to delete Brother Nero. That shit's great. And then obviously Bray Wyatt caught wind of the tweet because he said, "Love me or hate me." Wait, I should probably do this in a Bray Wyatt voice, right?
Oh, this would be good.
Love me or hate me, I am the single most creative thing this industry has seen this century. Constantly imitated, but there is only one me. Follow the buzz. Okay, he didn't say that, but you get what I'm saying.
That was great.
And then he also tweeted, "Let's not forget, without Bray Wyatt, perhaps no one would have been broken in the first place. Go ahead, lie, say it wasn't true. I am the way." So then, of course, and Matt Hardy responded, hashtag Brother Nero Wyatt. He called him Brother Nero Wyatt.
That's great.
I never asked for my broken condition. It's a curse. You have an open invite to my battlefield.
Now,
oh my goodness.
my thing, I've heard a couple of Matt Hardy's like recent promos as far as him wanting to quote unquote delete Jeff from the Hardy family and whatnot, and it does sound borderline Bray Wyatt-esque, but at the same time, before Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt, there was Jeff Hardy, and either Matt could have developed his character from inspirations from Bray Wyatt, or it could have even been from Jeff Hardy's brainchild.
Right. This is true. And it's just kind of like, who really developed this sinister act? Because, I mean, Broken Matt Hardy is kind of a newish thing with these, deletion skits they've been doing. Bray Wyatt's been doing this for a couple years now. But like you said, Jeff Hardy being the charismatic, the whole Willow thing, like maybe did it develop from there? It's kind of hard, and these two are like going back and forth as to what the inspiration for each skit was and who really came up with it first, and stuff like that.
They do, as far as Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy go, they do have their similarities, but then they do have their differences as well.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I like this new transformation is the word I'm going to use, that Matt Hardy has gone under. Because, I always thought that Matt Hardy was good, just in ring, but I always thought he was overshadowed by Jeff. Jeff was the more charismatic one. Jeff was the more outlandish one, the more out there. He would do the more crazy things in the matches. But this character that Matt Hardy has taken on is great. I'm sorry, it is. And I don't really credit TNA for much, but this one, I don't know. It's like you ever heard a joke that's so stupid that it was funny?
A couple of them, yeah.
This is kind of how I see it, because it's not really to be taken 100% serious, but he's portraying it as he's dead serious about it. But we all know it's a character, but it's just great how he's portraying it, how he's building himself up. And, he even went over Jeff Hardy in the final deletion. He deleted his brother.
That threw me for the biggest loop ever. I went into watching most of the final deletion thinking that Jeff Hardy was pretty much unanimously set to win.
And see, that's based off of their whole career. Because it always seemed like Jeff Hardy was up here and Matt Hardy was just slightly below him. So you wouldn't think that Matt Hardy was going to come out on top in this. And then the swerve to have Matt Hardy be on top in all of this, it was just great.
This proves that wrestling as a whole is it's as predictable as it is, it's also unpredictable, if that makes sense.
This is definitely true. Because, more now that my generation of people are, now older, we realize a lot more, we pay attention to more detail, match structure, character development, storyline continuity. It's just like, now we see more into the character than we did before. But we can also reminisce on how the character was before to what they are now. So, I don't know, man.
I'll say one thing about this generation versus our generation. As far as Matt Hardy goes, in our generation, after the Hardy Boys tag team, we got stuck with crappy version 1 Matt Hardy. You guys get Brother Nero, Matt Hardy.
Man, they don't remember that version 1 Matt Hardy with the Matt facts. Come on, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on, man.
Yep.
It doesn't get any better than what he is now. He's great now, and I'm going to give him all the credit in the world.
You deserve it, Matt. And your hair, I can't comment on that.
That's another story. It looks like if Seth Rollins grew his hair out to be a super afro, like when he was first in the Shield with that, stripe in his hair, that's what that kind of looks like.
Yeah. It does, though.
So, moving on a little bit, we have, a few side stories, I guess. Just news or rumors floating around. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but Vince McMahon isn't really high on Roman Reigns anymore, which is rumored. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but how do you feel about that? Like, that could be devastating towards his career.
Mr. McMahon, if it turns out that you aren't very high on Roman Reigns anymore, thank you for that. I used to love Roman Reigns. When I got back into watching wrestling again, when the Shield first broke up and stuff, I was all over Roman Reigns being Roman Reigns. But now, after the guy gimmick, I'm just like, and then he got suspended for violating the wellness policy, and then all of a sudden Seth Rollins is using him in his promos, and I'm like, okay, just like the New Day, I'm getting sick of this. So if you're not very high on him, Vince, I support you, bro.
Yeah, the Rollins report was definitely hilarious to me. Just to touch on that for a bit. It was just great.
Oh, yeah.
Because Seth was asking him the questions, and obviously it was from previous WWE.com interviews. But the reason it was so great, they had the damn WWE title in the background, and then the other times it was on his shoulder. It was just hilarious. I was dead.
I caught it on YouTube, and I'm like, because I thought, when I watched your podcast on the Raw review, I thought I was going into one thing as far as the Raw's review. Then I finally caught it on YouTube, and I'm like, is he just ripping off on Michael Cole?
He was pretty much taking the role of Michael Cole. It was just too funny. Oh, my goodness. But I see what they're doing there, too. With Reigns being suspended, they're keeping him relevant into the triple threat. He can't be there physically. He can't be there via satellite. He's suspended. The only way to keep the crowd and to keep us, the viewers, watching, pretty much acknowledge to the fact that Roman Reigns is still in this match, they gotta pretty much bury him a little bit.
Right. As far as them bashing Roman Reigns on TV, now you're still putting Roman Reigns' name in your mouth, and us, the fans, we're still investing in Roman Reigns. Now, with the way you guys are talking about him, are we supposed to be investing in this heel Roman Reigns? Because the way you guys are talking on him, it's not like he's going to return and we're just going to jump out of our seats like number 3 Royal Rumble entry AJ Styles out this bitch.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. It's just like, I at first, after WrestleMania, I liked the whole, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy thing. And then it just got, old. He didn't capitalize on it. He just came out and said the same thing, the same way. It didn't feel like he put any emotion into it. He didn't really capitalize on it. The first couple of weeks were fine, and then it was just like, dude, come on, man. You gotta do something else. And that's where I credit, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They're able to take their character and make you invested in them. They're able to connect with the crowd, whether they're heel or face. Seth Rollins is a heel, but the crowd fucking loves him. But you have the people who hate him, but he's still loved as well. Now, sometimes you can't really pay attention to the crowd because sometimes the crowd thinks they know everything, but, their characters are definitely something to be, invested in. Reigns, on the other hand, you try to give him a chance, and it's just like, what are you doing, man?
As far as the 3 are concerned, I will say out of all 3 of them, Dean Ambrose is probably in my personal opinion, the best suited champion as far as character goes, even though his Money in the Bank win was very, very predictable.
Yeah. And even his cash in, because I think he said if he wins Money in the Bank, he's just going to cash it in the same night.
He sure did, too.
So, you know, they got the whole thing going on between them all fighting. But as we know, this Tuesday, that could be shaken up drastically.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have brought back the brand split. And this Tuesday on live SmackDown, SmackDown's live now.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you for that, because now I'm going to be tuning in to SmackDown as well. The WWE will have its WWE Draft.
A side note, actually, did you notice that TNA is switching to Thursday?
That's very smart. Where were they, on Tuesday nights?
I believe so,
Yeah,
yes.
that's very smart. Because if you switch to Wednesday, you're going to be outdone by the CWC and NXT. So, yeah, Thursday is the safest bet for them.
It is now, yeah.
So, yeah, that's smart by them. But I'm excited for this draft, man. It's been years since we've seen a draft. It used to happen every year, consecutively. And, you know, shake up the rosters or whatever. And I think that's what kept WWE great back then in the Ruthless Aggression era. I think that was, you know, just a pivotal point there. You could always see specific superstars on specific brands, specific champions for specific brands, and you would have to tune in to see a certain superstar that you like on different shows. You want to see Triple H? He's on Raw. You want to see The Undertaker? He's on SmackDown.
Here's my gripe with the draft, and they've made this a thing that I've noticed what I've been reading lately. I keep hearing that tag teams are going to get split. Oh, well, what if this tag team gets split? Oh, what happens if this tag team gets... Like, I feel like they're pretty much opening the door and just basically telling us, oh, there are some tag teams that are going to get split, guys.
Yeah, which could potentially be bad. Like, if you're going to split up, like, the Ascension and, like, Social Outcasts, who the hell cares? But if you're going to split up Enzo and Cass, New Day, the Vaudevillains, like, this tag team division has started to, you know, get hyped back up. Because for a while, who really cared who was the tag team champions? At one time, it was Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne. Air Boom. Who cared about that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I didn't either. And I liked both of them guys, but I didn't care. I couldn't care about that. So, like...
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, regarding the tag teams, I could see like tag teams like Sin Cara and Kalisto getting like the Lucha Dragons. That's fine, but when I think about Enzo and Cass, Big Cass is proven to be a phenomenal singles competitor. But as far as Enzo Amore goes, like his mic skills are okay. They're starting to get borderline annoying to me now, but his in-ring ability is kind of eh.
Yeah, and that's why they're such a great tag team, because Cass carries the matches, Enzo carries the promos. Cass should not be talking as much as he's been talking. Now, he has great material, don't get me wrong, because I like Big Cass.
True.
He's great to me. But on the mic, his promos, like his delivery, it's just like so stale. Like, I don't want to hear you talk that much. Just say SAWFT and that's it. I'm fine with that.
As far as singles competitors, I feel like I'm not gonna say the obvious or the casual people, but let's like people like Dolph Ziggler. Just put him on SmackDown, please.
Yeah, like you'll have him on SmackDown. He won't be overexposed. You won't be tired of him. Like, I think that's the problem why people don't watch SmackDown as much as they used to. Because I haven't watched SmackDown in years, and it's like I see the same superstars in the same matches I've seen on Raw, which kind of plays into why Raw hasn't been that great to me either. You see the same matches over and over and over, you're eventually going to get tired of it.
And with the brand split, like you said earlier, you'll see completely different superstars on completely different shows, which finally gives us a reason to watch SmackDown.
Yep. And also, coming with the superstars being drafted, we also have, well, it was so confusing how they did it. Because first they said Stephanie and Shane would be the general managers of SmackDown and Raw. And then Vince switched it up Monday night and said, okay, you guys are going to be the COOs, the commissioners of each show. And now they're going to pick their general managers for SmackDown and Raw. Shane will be running SmackDown as the commissioner for SmackDown, and Steph will be the commissioner for Raw. So
now, I believe the general managers were leaked because I do remember seeing Daniel Bryan's name for like SmackDown.
If Daniel Bryan is the general manager for SmackDown, I'm gonna go crazy. That would be great.
Now, I hope to goodness, like, I hope that now that we've seen this leaked information, I hope they don't throw us for a loop and then, like, change it or something. Leave it how it is.
I don't want to see John Laurinaitis on SmackDown. I don't want to see none of that. And I think it would be...
No, Vicky.
Please, God, no, excuse me. Excuse me! No, I can't. No. Excuse yourself to the door.
Right.
But no, like, if they put Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, I think that'll be great. Why? SmackDown doesn't get the same viewership Raw does. Raw has been the flagship show
That's true.
since The Rock stopped being on SmackDown. And maybe even The Undertaker, too. But people don't watch SmackDown as much as they watch Raw. So it'll be great if... And we'll talk about some of the people that could be drafted to SmackDown or brought up from NXT to SmackDown. It'll be great. Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan. You have Mauro Ranallo on commentary, who's very underrated, who's an up-and-coming star as a commentator in the WWE. I think his commentary is amazing.
My only gripe, I'm going to stop you on Mauro Ranallo. My only gripe with him, because he does have a lot of enthusiasm, he just needs to call the moves what they are.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there. Sometimes he kind of like goes overboard with it. But I think he's great. He's definitely better than anybody on the Raw commentary team. So
That's
like
true.
You have, these names, just in charge of just that you hear, on SmackDown. I think it'll bring more viewership over there. And then, like I said, if certain superstars are on SmackDown, of course you're going to want to see him because you ain't going to see him on Raw. Like, say John Cena goes to SmackDown. John Cena has a ton of fans. Mm-hmm. People are going to watch SmackDown to see John Cena. Some people aren't because they don't particularly care. But I'm a John Cena fan. I'm going to watch SmackDown to see my boy John Cena.
Right.
Say Kevin Owens gets drafted.
I'm watching. See? You sold me at KO.
Right. See, people love KO.
But to be a standalone show, you need a standalone belt, man. Bring back that World Heavyweight for us.
As we've been saying this whole show, the WWE Champion. Because I don't know if you've noticed, they dropped the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's just the WWE Champion.
They sure did.
So that could be a
hint, guys.
That could be a hint. Maybe they're bringing back the World Heavyweight Championship, or maybe they're bringing a new title. Maybe they'll make the Raw Championship like the same way it is now, but they'll turn it red. And maybe they'll make the SmackDown Championship blue. I think that'll be a good idea.
I was just about to ask. I was like, hey, did you see that where they had like the SmackDown title and the Raw title?
I've seen leaked images of those as well.
Okay,
that'd be great.
I thought they were pretty okay looking.
And I think it needs it. I think it needs to be that way. Because you're going to see, alright, cool. You'll see the champion bounce back to different shows. But the reason I don't think it would work is like you're not going to have the same superstars on both shows. So if he's in a rivalry with somebody, the only way it would work is if you bring that SmackDown superstar over to Raw, or that Raw superstar over to SmackDown, for him to have a genuine rivalry. So I just think the Raw guy should, feud with the champion on Raw, and the SmackDown guy should feud with the SmackDown champion.
I feel like with the way the storyline is set up, since the Shield members, former Shield members, are the main guys in the spotlight, I feel like that's a Raw thing. Like, Dean Ambrose is the face of the company, and I'm pretty sure they're going to want to keep the face of the company on Raw, and that's Raw. But what about SmackDown? Who could potentially be the face over there?
Yeah, for sure. And I think like if they have Dean drop the WWE title because they're gonna move him to SmackDown and be the SmackDown champion, then I think Seth Rollins should be the Raw champion. because I think he can lead that brand as well.
Interesting.
And it's like, I think those two need to be apart, because if you keep doing this Shield thing, like you've said, it's gonna get old. People are gonna get tired of it.
Yep. As far as Dean Ambrose goes, like, there are some wrestlers, superstars that I look at, and I'm like, you wrestle like you should be on SmackDown. Like, Dean Ambrose is that guy for me. I'm like, you wrestle like you should be on SmackDown.
He needs to work on his damn punches as well. His punches are not clean at all.
Him, and I would even go as far to say, like, Kevin Owens, too. Especially when Kevin Owens goes in the center of the ring and starts, like, mudhole stomping you. Like, they look too fake, Kev.
You definitely got to clean that up a little bit. We love you, but clean it up, man.
Yep.
But, yeah, so... And then it's like, you have NXT stars to bring up. I think Finn Balor just had his last match in NXT. And I think he's getting drafted.
You really think that was his last one?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but if I had to take a guess, if I had to put my money on something, I think it would be that was his last match.
Man, but then that raises the question, was it Shinsuke Nakamura's last match too,
no,
man?
I think he's going to fight Samoa Joe at NXT Brooklyn too. I think he becomes NXT. I think they're not going to bring up Nakamura to maybe... I think he's a Royal Rumble guy. I think he's going to be one of those Royal Rumble surprises. They have one every either year or every 2 years.
That could be fantastic.
Yeah, like, I think the future of the WWE could be bright if booked the right way. With NXT people coming up, and American Alpha, my God, and the Revival. Those two teams in NXT are great.
I've heard nothing but good things about American Alpha.
And the heel work of the Revival is just so underrated. If you see these guys work as heels, man, great heel tag team. They're not just like pushovers like the Vaudevillains have become and the Ascension.
Yeah.
These two guys can be stars if booked right, of course, because they never book these NXT guys right.
Especially tag teams, they haven't been getting booked right.
Let's see. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, my opinion, other than like the Shield members, the best person that's being booked right to come up from NXT has been Charlotte.
Yep. Yes.
She has gotten the best push.
We've not really touched on women's wrestling here at the Botch Squad.
Hey, you're putting it over,
the
man.
Botch Squad.
You're putting the channel over. This is great.
I will honestly say, like, I've never been more interested in the women's wrestling storyline, but my gripe about it is Charlotte needs to defend some more. Come on now.
I think, she will. I think she will defend some more. And, I think, I don't know. She probably will drop it to Sasha at SummerSlam, but who knows? They can swerve us and add more heel heat to Charlotte. Either way, I just want a great match. Because, like, the Divas... oh, God, I called them Divas. I'm sorry. Well, that's what they've been booked like over the past few Raws. Their matches are kind of sloppy, kind of not entertaining. They seem like Divas matches. So,
we're tired of seeing Dana Brooke tap out.
Oh my God, we're so tired of that. Dana Brooke is fine as hell, but I'm just so tired of seeing that. She needs to work on her in-ring stuff.
Do not tell my girlfriend.
Wait, we just gonna edit that out. Shout out to Blasphemous HD. We just gonna edit that out.
Right. I agree with the host here, though. Let's just put it that way.
But yeah, man. So anything else, man? Like, the WWE world is going crazy right now, so I'm just excited to see what's going to happen from here.
It was a very exciting time for the WWE roster as a whole, and with the big time pay-per-view right after Battleground SummerSlam, it's going to be good.
It remains to be seen if Brock Lesnar will be suspended from not only the UFC but the WWE, and we'll see if his match with Randy Orton gets canceled or what they're going to do about it.
I want to take us to the future. Now that I've thought about the brand split some more, let's take us to the future after SummerSlam. Let's talk about Survivor Series.
That That could be great. Survivor Series could be relevant again because they can do the brand versus the brand thing.
Yes. Smackdown versus Raw again.
That's when you bring together all the top, or even the top mid-carders to main event type guys to come together to go against each other. That's when you do it. You don't overexpose it with 18-man tag team matches on Raw. Stop letting Teddy Long book these damn tag matches. I'm tired of 30 people being on each side of the damn ring. You got people standing outside the ring waiting to get a chance to get up on the apron to get tagged in. But I think if done right, these next few pay-per-views can be great, especially with the brand split, especially if they're bringing back old pay-per-views from the past. I just think it can be great.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see what happens. That's all we can do.
I don't know if you got anything else you want to talk about, but I don't know. I'm excited. As a wrestling fan, I'm excited.
I'm fairly content. I've been having fun this whole video. Wrestling, I've mentioned on my channel, is definitely an icebreaker for me, guys.
I'm definitely glad that you were able to take time out of your busy day to come on and talk with your boy about some good old-fashioned wrestling. Come on. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope you guys appreciate it as well. We'll definitely be doing more collabs together. I've known this man for over 10 years, so we'll be doing more videos together, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, just leave a like for your boys. I will put Cody's channel down in the description, Oven Fresh Death. I will definitely be plugging that in the description below, so you guys can check him out. Definitely go show him some love and subscribe to him. Comment down in the comment section about anything we talked about during this video. If you guys had anything to say to add on to what we said, definitely go ahead and add it down in the comment section, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys once again. Peace.